Hello, welcome Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And we're here for the weekend workout where all you need is your body and a little bit of space.
A little bit of space. We have simple techniques, challenging techniques, but nice and whatever progressions to help us approach that handstand. Maybe we also just have a little space on the wall to do some wall climbs in a second. But until then, let's get started with a little warm-up.
We've lots to do before our wall climbs.
Anywhere you want. A little bit wide, maybe rock on those toes a little bit, and just root down nice and heavy. Take the hands across the body with the shoulder blades lightly retracted. Tuck in the chin. Super slow. Rotate at the head neck, looking to, in my case, the right. Then turn the upper body in the same direction, ensuring the hips stay forward. Then go head to the center. Let the torso follow. Repeat to the other side. It's the chin tuck in, rotation with the head. Then through the rib cage or T-spine, rotate next. Head to center, torso to follow. A double to finish. So it's the head to the one side, squeeze the shoulder blades, rotate. Then the same direction, move the head. The same direction, ask the body to move. Then keep the body there, rotate the head to center.
Can you move?
Reset. Yeah, just knock on that door. Ask politely. Little bits go a long way. So tuck a chin, rotate, last time the other way. Then it's that rotation through the rib cage. Then the head might be able to go a little further. Then the body might be able to go 1 degree further. Keep the body there. Rotate the head, neck. Finish with the body in center. Keep your stance or just switch it up for a little variation and have your hands face forward. Low effort, shrug up. Low effort, round the shoulders forward. Pull down through the armpit lats and then retract together. Repeat one more time as we elevate, shrug, round, pull down, and retract. Finishing for 2 repetitions, let's switch our circle. Reach low or down, forward, elevate, shrug, retract, and then one more time, low, down, forward, elevate, and retract. Let gravity do the rest and add a little bit of a wiggle. We'll do more upper body in a second, but until then, take it away.
Let's get to those feet a little bit here. Gently with our feet underneath us, the toes are spread out, the balls of the foot are connected, and the heels are placed on the floor. Just think about where your weight is. Do you have weight even on both feet, 50-50? Is your weight even in your heels and the ball of your foot? Are you more towards the forefoot or leaning back? Let's just pay attention to that for a couple seconds. Grip, root, squeeze, and then let's peel that foot into our demi-point position. We'll be kicking off and doing some crawls, so we'll need those toes to bend. To switch feet, let's press up and then control the down. Again, toes are bent, ball of foot pushing heavy. Let's repeat that one more time, up and over. And last time, as you come up, press the hips forward, slow descent. Now let's use those toes to point. Gently flex, rounding over the toes. Let's stay here for a second. With the knee staying straight, could you wing that ankle out? And then pull it back into center. And try to go ankle in, and then back to center. Let's push the toes into the floor to get to the point. The demi-point, we'll switch as we had, up and down. Same thing other side, pointy point. Gently flex over those toes. Then keeping the knee where it is, can you wing that ankle out and pull it back in? And then keep the knee where it is and try to wing in. Back to center. Toes push into the floor. We'll just go up, over, heel will come back down, both feet are flat. Next, let's gently press those knees over the toes. I'm sure we'll be squatting a little bit, so get that ankle mobility, and then extend the hips through standing to tall. Repeat that again, knees towards over toes. Imagine as you stand up that your hips come over top of your knees instead of your knees just straightening. Knees over toes. This time, let's peel the heels up, find a light bent leg balance, then we'll push out of that and control the down. And one more, we'll go up. We'll bend the knees, we'll slowly lower those heels to the floor, and then we'll press the hips through. Give that a little shake and wiggle, and then let's just come back to where we started, spreading out the toes, connecting the ball of the foot, the heels. How do your feet feel now? 50-50, rooted. Oh yeah.
Grounded.
Grounded. We'll come back to some hips in a second.
Add the shake. We'll do one quick shoulder warm up from a standing position, and then we'll transition to the floor, utilizing some of those parts of Lauren's squat. Hands face forward and make light fists. Imagine pulling apart a rope so there's a straight line through the ulna, or this side of your forearm, all the way through the pinky. Then bend or flex on the wrist, but keep those elbows straight until we bend them, which is now. So bend them. Now look at those hands, and are the knuckles facing one another, or are they pressing up to the ceiling? Encourage that shape right there. Elevate the shoulders as a shrug, pull those armpits back down, and then groove that position where the elbows go towards forward. Reset the elbows to the ribs. The wrists are currently bent, so push the fingers to the back walls behind you. Then extend the wrist like a push-up or handstand, and slowly extend on the elbow. Now, try to touch the hands behind the back, but first squeeze the shoulders together and reach towards behind you. You probably will never be able to touch the hands, and that's okay. With those push-ups, wrists in the back, try for 3 more seconds before we make fists with the fingers, bent shapes with the wrists. Pull the hands apart as we biceps curl back to this racks position, and then armpits stay low, elbow tips towards forward. This time we'll open with the fingers first to the back wall, extend through the wrist. Now pull the shoulder blades together as we extend out front and return the arms to your side. And then the shake and the wiggle. We'll start loading up those hands just like Lauren had us loading up those feet. Pay attention to the fingertips or the toe tips, the callus lines, and then the palms of the hand on the ground. Let's get there using that toe squat. So it's that knees over toes habit. We've already been here as we peel away from the floor. And with 2 hands or without, get knees on the ground, extend the hips, get yourself your perfect spot on the ground, and we'll hinge on the hips. Fingertips touch the floor first, callus lines, and full hands next. Pull the shoulders down, feel nice and strong and grounded onto the floor. And from this position, we'll do our first knuckle push-up. That's pressing with straight elbows, that the knuckles stay heavy on the floor, and we'll slowly return the heels of the hands back down. Repeat for a couple more repetitions. Aim to turn the fingertips white. High tension between the callus line or the metacarpal heads of the hands there, and down. For 1 more, but then we'll go down, and for 1 more, we'll push so much that we'll flick that floor away, just like in the handstand. A quarter turn at the hands this time. Fingers, calluses, hands, same pattern to land and ground. I'll press to my right, which shifts my weight to the left. Then I'll push to the left, shifting my weight back to the right. A very useful skill for those handstands is to feel the hands do the work so that your core can stay nice and strong. We don't have to do a big shape in the low back to correct that handstand.
Make sure those elbows are straight.
Elbows are straight and blood donations forward. You got it. So 1 more time, I'll be pushing to center, and if I push equally both ways, both palms will come up, and then we'll flick. 1 more wrist warm up for me, and then we're tossing it to Lauren. Fingertips this time face your knees, land, fingers, calluses, and full hands. This time, lightly, of course, press the pinkies into the floor, and then relax. And then what about those ring finger digits? Press them and relax. Middle fingers are next, press them. Relax that effort, followed by the index fingers pressing. Then those thumbs, and how about all 10? And push hard on all 10 fingers, and try to bend the elbows, and then peel the hands off like Spider-Man with that flick, and a little bit of a shake. That's it from me for now. Over to Lauren.
Now that those wrists are warmed up, we're going to warm up our hips from all 4s. So with your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips, we'll start with exploring our 3 positions. Our first is our hip extension. So take 1 leg, gently bend the knee, getting the heel towards the butt. Now, keeping that slight tucked under position or core brace, slowly take that leg off the floor and start kicking towards the ceiling. Once you're here, check in. Are both hips still square to the floor? Are you reaching that leg from your glute versus arching that low back? Reach for a couple more seconds. 3, 2. Now that knee is going to pass underneath us. As it does, start to tip your tailbone to the ceiling. Keep that anterior tip in the hips as you then try to bring your knee towards your chest or your elbow. And hold. This is hip flexion. For 3, 2. Bring that leg back to parallel with the other. And next, we'll lift the leg out to the side. Once it's here, check in. Is that knee still bent like you're holding $1 million bill? Your hips still square to the floor. For 3, 2. Pull, returning that leg underneath. Let's press the floor away. Give those hands a little shake. I'll turn around. You don't have to. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Shoulders are packed. Elbows are nice and straight. Gently bend the other knee, getting that $1 million bill tight behind. Then keep that core brace as you slowly kick up towards the ceiling. Once you reach towards that ceiling and that hip extension, are both hips square to the floor, reaching from that butt cheek for 3, 2. Then the knee will start to pass through that center. The tailbone will tip towards the ceiling and will be coming towards that hip flexion or knee towards chest and hold. For 3, 2. Then both legs will return underneath and we'll lift the leg right to the side and hold. It doesn't have to be high. Feel that glute. Keep length between the ribs and the hips. Don't get crunchy. For 3, 2. And then return the leg back under to center. Press the floor away. Give that a little shake. We'll do one quick connection each direction of those 3 positions, and then we'll move on. So come back to that first leg. Let's start in that hip extension again. Knee bend, slight tuck of the hips to brace the core. Slowly start kicking the ceiling. Square up the hips to the floor. Next, we'll come out to that side position. The knee will draw a circle towards that fire hydrant-like position and hold. Hips square to the floor. Now as the knee comes around towards the elbow, keep that tailbone long and breathe and hold in that hip flexion. And let's brush it back to parallel quads and reverse it. So we'll bring the knee back up towards the chest. Then it'll lift up to the side. It'll reach around the back, drawing a small circle, ending up where we first started in that extension, hips square to the floor, and then slowly return the knee down. Take one more second off those wrists and we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. Start with the shoulder packed and the elbow straight. We'll gently bend the other knee and hip extend up towards the ceiling. Try not to arch that low back. Next, rotate that leg open in the socket, knee comes to the side. All the way around towards the chest with that tailbone tip towards the ceiling. And then brush it back to reset. Repeat the other direction. Knee comes towards the chest. Then it lifts to open. Don't spill the bowl of water off your back as you circle around. Keep the core braced. Kick the ceiling. And the knee stays bent as it returns underneath. Let's come to standing by tucking our toes, tipping our tailbone to the ceiling and lifting our hips. Take a second in that down dog position there, but prioritize tipping the tailbone. Breathe. And then slowly walk your hands back to your feet and press through to tall.
Awesome. As Lauren mentioned, we'll be doing some squatting later today. So let's work on some of those weight transfers, open up those hips in our Chico styled squat. Get the costumes and wardrobes situated. And from there, let's just pull ourselves down into your squats position. It could be a little high like me, beautifully low like Lauren, or somewhere in between that's just right for you. And press to a single leg and maybe have that balance aid nearby. Then point with a karate foot, finish with your ballet foot, land absorbing the ground. And press away. Hold your balance. Perhaps climb that leg. Karate style foot, full ballet point, just like in the handstand, and then balance again. We'll do 2 more each side here as we climb. Flex ankle, point ankle, land, transfer weight, climb, straighten those knees, karate foot, ballet foot, and down. Now just one more time each side. Find your balance, climb a little bit, karate to point, and down. And last time here. So quiet here. I hope it's quiet on the mics as well. And then pull yourself low and up. Just like in the handstand, you want to be nice and quiet. Absorb that ground, even though that intensity is probably building. We'll get down to the floor again, and I'll be doing some rolling with the core, and Lauren's going to be in charge of stiffing it up in some of our planks. Let's transition to the floor through that toe squat. Here we go. The knees over to the toes. The heels peel up. We come down, and with the hands or without, then we'll extend the hips through. We'll stay on those knees and just open up the hands a little bit wider here. That softer shape on the wrist should be a little bit more forgiving. Then take a hand across the body, start with your head nod, sniff an armpit. The sniffing is optional. And then from here, we're a little bit of a bendy movement to get the shoulder towards the floor. Take a breath. In and then out as you press back to those wide position arms. Same thing other side. Hand across chest. Initiate with the neck. So we tuck a chin. We roll, aiming to get the shoulder towards the floor. Take a breath in and an exhale and press back. Keep the hand there if that's for you. Get your hair out of the way maybe. And then if you're ready to add on, let's turn the hand up at the side of the hip. Then take a look. Look to get the shoulder towards the floor.
In the back of the head.
And the back of the head there. And then press through in our nice wide position. Again, the palm turns up at the hip. Initiate with the chin tuck. And look underneath that window on the opposite arm. And take a breath. And out. And press. And then maybe for one more time, we do the same thing. But we could push through the ground and do a little judo roll into the palm tree. I'm off the camera here, Lauren, but how do you look there? Oh, geez. There you go. Pulling through into a squat or so. And just for maybe one more time here, we can do the same thing on the other side. So turn up a hand, look through that window, take a second, roll through, sit tall, and from that nice supple spine that we need for the handstand, Lauren's going to be in charge of tightening things up with the core here.
All right, let's start with a basic plank, and then we'll lower ourselves and practice our banana hold right after. So a double core move here. With our hands underneath our shoulders and our toes tucked, we'll lift our hips, tuck them under, connecting the ribs to the hips. Squeeze your butt cheeks. Pull your shoulders down. Ripple the floor underneath you by pulling your hands towards your feet. This should be a lot of work. If I tried to push you over, I couldn't. For 5, 4, 3, 2, adjust your hands as you need. Slow push up down. Chest and hips land at the same time. Feel free to put your knees down. And then we'll roll over onto our back. On our back here, we'll get into our banana or our hollow shape. Our hollow shapes, let's start at basic and add on. Palms up at your side, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. First, we'll think about connecting our ribs to hips, which means we're going to lift our head and shoulders off the floor, but not change our spine. I like to think about being a marionette, and there's a string attached to my chest pulling me up to the sky. Here we go. Pull, engage the marionette string. Hold. Breathe. You should feel that core brace. Then, if we'd like to add on, could we lift our feet off the floor? If we'd like to add on any more, we could extend those legs away from center, one at a time or both at the same time. We're now entering our banana shape, and you can hear the quiver. If you want one more addition, could you take those arms towards overhead? Breathe and hold for 8, 7. Legs are tight together, feet are pointed, butt is squeezed, kneecaps pulled up. Breathing underneath for 3, 2. Everything pulls back to center, and then gently relax.
I let Lauren do that one because I don't want to talk when I work that hard.
Yeah, you could hear the quiver. Now what, Ian?
Oh, just one set? I thought you liked 2.
Well, I thought we were doing another set of rolls.
Oh, I like that idea too.
And then doing that.
All right.
Actually, I just like it here.
Maybe you do too. Lay around, it's Saturday morning, or it might be a different time in the archive. And no matter what, just always check in. We've done a lot of work on those wrists already, but preparing for that handstand. So here we go. Hands are wide. Palm turns up at the hip. Look for the sniff of the armpit. Use the legs. Roll over the shoulder blade and pull yourself into our sit or squat. You might be able to do that in reverse. Oh yeah, on cue, Lauren. And then I'm just going to turn ways because that was very well done that we didn't kick each other in the face, but I don't want to risk it again. So just one more time, other side. Turn the palm up. Take a look through. In this moment, I'm anchoring through my shoulder, then I'm using my legs to roll through and to sit in the squat. And I love a good back roll too. That's good. Then we're down here, Lauren, or maybe do our push-up planche again. What do you think?
Yes. As we're in this plank position, let's try to work for that wrist extension. So think about getting those shoulders as far over top of those wrists as possible, as your shoulders, body's wrists will allow. Hands grip the floor, toes tucked, hips lift, tuck under, pull the floor together. Think about that wrist extension here as you hold and squeeze. Feel the cross-body tension now, pulling the right hand to the left hip and the left hand to the right hip, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, adjust as needed to get into that push-up position, and then slow push-up down, still strong like a board, and flip over on your back. We'll get right into that banana or hollow hold again. Breathing and bracing. Here we go. Let's enter the same way we did. Marionette string pulls you up. Knees come up over hips. Legs extend out towards straight. Arms towards overhead. Now, as we're here, if I picked you up, you'd be straight like a board. I could roll you over like a log, flip you up into a handstand. Are your elbows straight, reaching out your shoulders, squeezing your legs tight together for 5, 4, 3, 2, to center.
From there, let's just roll back so that we're on our knees, and then maybe we sit back down
Just
on
take a
the
break.
heels. Take a break. Take a break, man.
Take a break, man.
But here we are in that side of sit, and my feet are pointed just like in that handstand, and Lauren's side profile will show that a little bit better. From this position, breathe. Might be a stretch on the quads, and lots of work on those arches as well. But now, squeeze your butt cheeks, extending. Then tuck the toes. Then from there, transition to the balls of the feet. Stay on the balls of the feet and press to your handstand. Now take those hands towards your toe stand. But now imagine your handstand as you're reaching to the ceiling, and maybe even extend the wrists as they touch the ceiling. And we're extending the long spine, and we're reaching with straight legs, and we're pointing the toes and the rib cages down, and we're shrugging, and then just return to the ground and shake. In our kettlebell practice, those armpit lats are always pulling down. In the handstand, though, embrace the power of that shrugging position. Now that we're up, I'll be in charge of legs, and then Lauren will take us through a quick crawl or two before we look to go upside down on the wall. So with your 2 feet in parallel, that 6th position, let's go into our first little toe squat here. Then take one leg and reach it forward, and split the difference so that you're nice and balanced in a split stance like Lauren there. From here though, straighten the front knee and pull the front leg back as you press the back leg forward to sit in your squat. Switch the directions of pressing, and you're pushing off the back, and again, trying to roll over the toe. Then push the toes forward, land with a straight leg at the knee when the heel touches, and then push your back leg forward as your front leg pulls in. Switch, pushing forward through the front, back through the back. Try to get so tall you can create that room to flex over on the foot. Last time, toe, balls, straighten the knee, then the heel. Pull forward, find that balance. Maybe you have that balance aid out the side, and then push through, knees together, and grow so tall we can clear that foot underneath of the hips. Same thing to the other side. Knees over toes, other leg out front, and then just find a nice split stance. The shoulders and hips are facing forward square. Now gently straighten that front leg, pull it backwards, and push the back leg forwards as the knee bends. Then press the other directions there, so front to the front and back to the back, and try to get so tall on this leg, and we're going over the toe, just like you can see on Lauren. Then over the toes, let the balls of the feet touch, but straighten the knee. Then let the heel down. Then we're pulling that front leg in again, feeling that nice tension. Splits and push through. Finish with that rollover as allowed. And one last time, over the toes, straighten the knee, land with the heel and bend. And feel that tension. Pull into center for balance and press away for power. Then stay tall, clear the foot, add our shake, and back to Lauren.
Okay, we'll get practicing that split position as we would kick up to our handstand. So let's come to a plank, and then we'll go up to a down dog in 3 points and come back to that plank.
Love this drill.
First, let's do our forward fold, actually. We've been hinging a lot today. Arms in your T-Rex position, blades lightly retracted, chin tucked. Let's go. Head, neck starts to curl forward. Then the upper back starts to curl forward, but your blades are still together. It's the spine doing the movement here. Get as tight to your body as you can, like you're trying to sniff your belly button. And then slowly, it does need cleaning occasionally, slowly roll yourself forward into that forward fold. Next, you can extend those arms, and then you can walk yourself out into your plank again. Let's get that tension up for 5 seconds. Try to get that wrist extension. 4, 3, 2. We're going to push the floor forward, flick one toe away, or 1 foot away, and reach up to that 3 point. Now, I know you could reach higher if you opened your hips, but that's not allowed in this follow-along video. So square your hips up, close to the floor, breathe, and then pull yourself back through to that plank. Hold. 3, 2, flick, push the floor forward. Lift the hips, keep them square to the floor. Straighten both knees as best as you can. And pull back through one more time each side. 3, 2, flick, reach. When I'm reaching that top knee, I think about straightening it from the back of the knee. And then pull through. One more time, hold. 3, 2, push forward, flick back, lift, breathe. 3, 2, let's end in a regular plank, holding for 3, 2, lift your hips, tilting the tailbone to the ceiling. Walk your feet to your hands. Keep your hands flat for as long as you can. And then slowly tuck your chin. Stack your spine from your low to your mid to your upper. Head is last to land.
Always nice to get back up, standing tall. I love that variation of that 3-point down dog though, because it carries over so well to the handstand. So stay tuned in just a second for that. But first, let's continue to work on the balance, this time on our single leg squat. Pull up a single leg so that the toe on the elevated leg is touching that middle ankle bone on the standing leg. The tailbone is just ever so slightly tipped like a cow, or that anterior tip, as you make room to hang down low. Hang out here, and today let's just take that other leg out to the side, bring it back to the front, and extend that hip through to tall. We'll just do that one more time on this leg. The tailbone is just lightly tipped like a cow or anteriorly. Then stay forward with the hips and the shoulders as the knee opens to the side, and then pull back front, extend through, and then maybe, just maybe, find that toe balance on a single leg. Up with control and down with control. Stand on 2 feet, maybe just shake it out. That's a lot of work for just 2 reps. We'll do the same thing for 2 on the other side. So pull up. Right now, no daylight between those knees, and we'll slowly sit low in the squat. Then open up, so there's a nice little triangle of light between those hips, and then pull back to center. Push the hip through, fully cramping the butt cheek and those quads to stay straight. Then knee over toe for one last time as we go down. Open the knee to the side and breathe. Hands on hips, hands to the side, wherever you wish. Then close, finish tall, and again, very gently. Where can you get with that control word? And then down. Announcer's jinx, sometimes that happens. But very well done, Lauren. Add that shake. So we work on our balances, not just on our hands, but on those toes too, aiming to increase your body awareness and capability to balance.
All right, let's get into one lizard crawl and just really open up those hips. We're gonna get into this crawl a little differently today. With your feet, with room behind you, we're going to get ourselves into our low squat this time. So we'll pull ourselves all the way down. Then we're going to try to next we will place our hands on the floor, tip forward a little bit, and then let's take one foot back behind us and the other foot back, and we ended up in that plank. Now we'll flick the floor away just as we did in that 3-point position. Lift the leg, hold it for a second, then place the foot down on the floor. Right now I like to think about reaching out my front knee and reaching out my back heel, splitting myself, and then I'll pull back into center, creating tension. Let's control, lift, hold, place it back down. Other side, flick, lift, hold, place. Control, reach away from center here, splitting yourself, but try to keep your hips up. Try not to drop into that low position. Then pull the tension back to center, lift, and place down one more time each side. Flick, lift it, hover it off the floor, and then place it down with control. Again, reach long out the front and the back, breathing, holding, then pull the tension back in, try to hover, and place it back down. One more time, other side, flick, lift, hover, place. Reach away from center. Then pull back in, lift, place down, and I tricked you. One foot up, second foot up, low squat, extended chest, boom,
Boom.
to tall.
Oh, you trickster, Lauren.
Trickster.
Trickster. Asking myself,
Trickster for
how do my
kids.
wrists feel? Asking yourself, how do your wrists feel? You're strong. It's not the big muscles we're worried about here. It's those small ones, making sure that the body feels safe and strong to continue. Any comments? Anything good?
No, just a low battery.
Low battery. So we're going to get going here. We don't have too much more in our practice here. Let's just do one quick set of squats to give those hands a little bit of a check-in, and then it's time to perhaps go to that wall to work on our endurance. So pull up, find that single leg squat. This time, let's keep that knee forward, and we'll go knee over toe, full leg straight, find your releve or balance, and control down. 2 more of those. Let's go knee over toe, extend the hip through, find a single leg balance, and down. Knee over toe, extend the hip through. Last time up for an additional challenge, could you look around just a little bit? Then return the heel to the floor. Stand on 2 feet like it's easy, but then embrace a little shake and a wiggle. And 3 repetitions on the other side. So pull up. Pull in that straw. We'll go knee over toe. Push the hip through. Find those knuckles of the feet and then down. Excellent pace, Lauren. Then slower is harder, longer is harder. So knee over toe. Find full straight. Find the balance. Lauren's going to say, get out of my peripheral vision here. You're distracting me. So go knee over toe one last time. Extend the hip through. And last time on that balance, perhaps look around just a little bit. And then down.
Stand on 2 feet like it's easy. Squeeze your butt cheeks. Pull up your kneecaps.
Thank you for the cues.
Brace your core and then relax.
So much to think about. So thank you for joining us here today.
Okay, let's try to get some wall climbs
This is the
in.
hardest part of our workout, in our opinion, here, where we climb that wall. So I'll be cueing Lauren, either follow along or listen first, and we'll do it together next. Tucking in the shirt, no wardrobe malfunctions here, and take your time walking those hands up the wall. Lauren's goal here is to get the hands as tight to the wall as safely possible while maintaining that hollow shape that we worked on earlier in the practice. We're going to hold that for about 10 more seconds, which is about a 20-second total interval. And as Lauren may or may not be able to see there, is pulling her feet off the wall. That's a next level skill. Take your time with that, but that is a really cool thing to do.
What's my timing like?
Done. My bad. My mistake there, Lauren. Not only can she stand upside down on her head, she has that clock too that can make sure that I'm not
I knew 10 Mississippi
making her work
probably
too
gone
hard.
by.
All right.
All right, Team Ian's going. We're taking a break. Remember to take some time off those wrists. That's where the benefits do come in, is that rest. So 20 seconds here. If this activity is not for you, maybe you're crawling around like an elephant, repeating our lizard crawl, practicing your crow, lots of other things you can be doing for another 8 seconds. If you are upside down, toes are pointed, that hollow position we practice in our banana, all fingers down, safe dismount, and come down. Remember, you don't have to get close to the wall today. Ease into it, one step at a time.
You got it. Are you ready to do that again? Is that too soon? Take your rest, as Lauren said. It's where that magic happens. And if you're ready, let's join. Or if you're not too sure what's going on, just watch. We walk to the wall. We have that hollow body shape, and we can maintain the breath. Sometimes we call that Lauren's dragon breath. And the toes are pointed, and maybe one at a time we could pull off of that wall. But taking your time to just check in with the fingertips. Are they turning white with pressure? Are you pushing away? Are those elbows straight? Are you shrugging, elevating? Lauren, 5 more seconds here. I made that up. I'm really hoping I'm close to that 20-second interval here. And come down.
How long?
And shake.
Oh,
Excellent.
but things do feel longer when you're upside down. All right, take a little breath, shake it out. T-means going here, upside down. We climb the wall facing it to encourage that hollow position instead of practicing that banana sway back. It's harder, which normally means it's better for you. Grip the floor, press away, elevated shoulders, elbows as straight as possible. Breathing, 5 more seconds here. Try to keep that tension. Imagine doing this without the wall in 3, 2, always come home safe. Soft-ish.
Soft-ish. Take a quick second off those hands. Let's revisit one of my favorite squats that we did today, which is that Chico Squat. That allows that stretch, allows some extra fun balance.